Welcome to the RBV Show. I just want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is a great holiday, and I definitely enjoy it a lot. You know, Robbie V's tips of Thanksgiving. You got to eat a lot of stuffing, you got to eat a lot of turkey, and you got to eat a lot of pie. It's always a good time. So anyway, all right, let's get to the facts and the picks. All right, the lock of the week record is 22-12 after a 3-1 week last week. Almost everybody stepped up and delivered, except for Washington, Commanders. But we'll get to that. Notre Dame won as predicted, and Louisville won as predicted for college football. The Cowboys took down the Panthers, but for whatever reason, the Commanders couldn't take down the Giants, which is a pitiful performance, to be very frank. The Commanders really need to be better, and I don't really get what they're doing. And that team basically needs a lot of new players and definitely a new stadium. But we're going to get to that later. All right. I think I did better with the battle of my headphones this week. Well, maybe. As some people say, it's a battle I'm going to fight every week. But don't worry, guys. I'm not going to lose the Thanksgiving battle of eating turkey stuffing and apple pie. And again, I hope everyone has a great holiday. All right, let's get to the NFL locks of the week. Eagles-Bills. Eagles minus 3.5. Unfortunately, I hate saying this, but EAGLES, Eagles. I think we all know they played a great game against Kansas City Monday night at Arrowhead. Sure, what the coach did, what happened with their coach was ridiculous. Someone should tell them it's probably week 11 and not the Super Bowl. But that being said, the Eagles' home field advantage is just too good overall. And overall, I think they're going to cover the spread. Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown are playing out of their minds right now. They're both having really good seasons. Jalen really is picking up right where he left off from last year. He's a one-man offensive machine. I think he scored 2 touchdowns last week. They're playing great. And the defense is stacked. Buffalo, on the other hand, isn't playing so great. And I can't imagine them going into that to Philadelphia and beating the Eagles right now. I mean, that Philadelphia home field advantage at Lincoln Financial is insane. Josh Allen, he's having a good season, but he seems to be crumbling when it matters the most. The Jets game and others. This is the first NFL lock of the week, people, and I hope it pays for a nice steak dinner or your water bill. And a couple things to add about this game as well. Philadelphia running game is starting to come around. Like I said, the fans are insane, but it's just too much. It's going to be too much for the Bills. Eagles are going to win this, and that's the first lock of the week. All right, let's get to the Miami Jets. Miami minus 9.5. You take the Dolphins right now. The Jets don't have the offense or the overall talent to keep this game close on the offensive side of the ball. With the QB getting benched, I can't imagine the Jets' offense will come out like a house of fire down in New York, and that's going to be a problem. The Dolphins with Tyreek Hill, Waddle, and others, they're going to score their points. I get the Jets, they had got a better than average defense, but I don't think they'll be able to slow down Miami that much. When the Jets go 3-and-out time after time, the Jets defense will wear down, and eventually the Dolphins are running backs and wide receivers are going to find the end zone. Also, finally, the weather's not going to be a factor this game. It's going to be nice and sunny. Sure, it's going to be 37, but a little cold never hurt anybody. Overall, I think the Jets and the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins are going to get it done for the second NFL lock of the week. All right. Let's talk about the NCAA football. Which first off, I wouldn't be, without pretty much have to mention about Colorado and Coach Prime getting massacred last week against Washington State. Game was an absolute joke. Washington State just fucking killed them. I mean, it really wasn't a game at all. Shedeur Sanders, got himself massacred behind that offensive line. Coach Prime, I think this is it's gonna be a bigger rebuild than I think he thinks. And I think I saw that they already had a couple of decommitments, I believe, on the team this year for their recruiting class. It's gonna take a while for Colorado to come back. It's not that I don't think Coach Prime can do it. I just don't think it's going to be the fucking 1 year wonder that everyone thinks it's going to be. And speaking of Colorado versus Utah, it's a minus 22.5 points, and that is your and you take Utah for the official lock of the week, first college football lock of the week. The Colorado honeymoon's over. Coach Prime started out like a house of fire. It's TCU. But we didn't know at that time was TCU wasn't as good as people thought, and that Colorado was overrated from the get-go. The fact of the matter is Colorado's offensive line can't block, and that's going to be a big problem against Utah. Colorado has nothing to play for, and are falling apart at the seams. Utah doesn't have much to play for except for pride, but I think the Utes will come out and take Colorado to the woodshed. I think they'll be extra motivated to rub it in Coach Prime's face one last time this season, and Colorado's going to have a very hard time moving the ball against that defense. And to be honest, who has Colorado stopped this season? Even though Utah doesn't have a potent offense, I think they'll be able to move the ball rather quickly against Colorado. Also, finally, if Shedeur Sanders doesn't play, I think Colorado team's going to quit against Utah at the first sign of trouble. They quit against Washington State. They're a fractured team, and that's why you take Utah at minus 22.5 for college football's first lock of the week. The second lock of the week is SMU versus Navy. At SMU favored by minus 18. You take Navy here. The fact of the matter is that SMU has failed to cover big spreads this season, and they haven't exactly been consistent. They've let a lot of good teams, a lot of bad teams stay close to them and haven't been able to cover big spreads, such as 3 touchdowns or 24. And the fact of the matter is Navy's going to be able to pound the rock and eat up clock against SMU. Navy has all the motivation in the world after the big wins against East Carolina and UAB. They're literally one win away from a bowl game. I'm not going to sit here and say, yeah, man, Navy's going to definitely win this game, but they have enough speed on both sides of the ball to give SMU problems. SMU has played a lot of competitive games, and I think this is one that they will win, but they're not going to cover the spread. They're not going to do it. You take Navy here for plus 18 for the second college football lock of the week. Let's see here. So this is just a little bit of a reminder. You join the ESPN bet app right now, and you make a bet. When you do, you get $200 in bonus bets. It's a no-brainer. Again, special shout out for Sig for pointing this out in the gambling chat. It's an MVP move, Sig. All right, NFL and NCAA picks. I think Michigan beats Ohio State by 3.5. Michigan's defense is literally too much for Ohio State. I also think their offense, the running game is going to be overwhelming as well. The fact that the game's in Ann Arbor is also going to be tough for Ohio State. I know the spread's minus 3.5 and whatever, but I feel confident going with Michigan. I think the whole Harbaugh situation, they're in the national championship hunt and whatnot, is going to galvanize the team. They're going to come out swinging against Ohio State. I know that Ohio State has the Harrison kid, Marvin Harrison's son who's playing for him. And I'm not saying he's not good and he won't make an impact. We all know he'll get his yards. But the fact of the matter is you take Michigan at minus 3.5 here. It's going to be a great day to be a Michigan Wolverine. The NFL. First, Giants versus the Patriots, over-under is 33.5. You take the over this game. Because, let's be honest, right now the Patriots defense isn't exactly the best. And if Mac Jones starts, he's going to come out firing. The guy's playing for his fucking job. And he's planning to make for other teams to eventually give him a shot on their team when he gets either traded or released by the Pats during this offseason. Both these teams have nothing to lose. So playing good defense is probably the first thing from their minds. You take the over this game. The Giants just hung up freaking 35 on Washington. And the way this season is going for the Patriots, it wouldn't put it past me if all of a sudden we had a 28-14 matchup. I just can't trust the Patriots defense to stop really anybody right now. And again, if the Patriots offense is going 3 and out every time, the Giants, they might not, they might start out the game with a whole bunch of touchdowns, but they'll score enough. Them and the Pats will score enough points to get it over 33.5. I think that line's way off, and I really don't get it. What they're thinking. Dallas, Washington. This game could get real ugly after the performance the Commanders had last game against the Giants. I don't think they're going to be up against this game against Dallas. Dallas. Not only did they win the lock of the, help secure a win for the lock of the week last week, but they look great against Carolina. pick against Dallas at your own peril. But I think with Lamb, Dak Prescott, Parsons, and others, it's just going to be too much for the Skins or the Commanders, whatever the fuck you want to call them. And I think eventually, the Cowboys are going to get it done. My final NFL thought is the Raiders versus Kansas City. Kansas City lost last week. They were really up for that game. It's really going to be hard for them to go into Las Vegas and be up against the Raiders. I realize that spread. I think it's about 10. But the Raiders have been playing a lot better since Josh McDaniels got fired. I think the Raiders are going to continue. They're going to be at home. I guess what I'm saying is pick against the Raiders at your own peril, because they might surprise some people. And, the Chiefs, with their wide receivers not playing well and basically Travis Kelce being a one-man offense, I don't know if that's going to work out this week either. All right. Let's get to the show. Well, we are at the show. All right, whatever. Well, let's get to the MVPs, the Wonk of the Weeks, and the Dope of the Days. And let us to Robbie V. All right, let us to Robbie V. Dear Robbie V, what are your plans for Thanksgiving? Do you have any suggestions for the people the night before Thanksgiving? What bar should you go to? What is your favorite Thanksgiving dish? Signed, Vincenzo from Rehoboth. Oh, no. All right, Vincenzo. First off, one of my plans for Thanksgiving, I'm going to my cousins. We're bringing a lovely dish. And she also asked us to bring, a Polish seltzer, 2 12-packs. So, that's what I'm going to do. Toya, the wife, and I, we're going up. It's going to be a good time. Do I have any suggestions for the people the night before Thanksgiving? Yeah, go out and have a few pops with your friends. Don't do anything stupid, that you end up getting arrested, because that would be pretty bad. Go out and have a few beers with your friends if you're of that age. Maybe have a water before you go to bed so you're not hungover for Thanksgiving. I don't know. And don't start a fight with some moron or wonk that you didn't like, back in the day in high school. It's not worth it, People these days, they need to come together. And we don't need that tomfoolery bullshit. What bar should you go to? Well, if you're in Hingham, maybe you can go to Stars or Ocean Kai, or you can go to the Range. They're having a Thanksgiving Eve party that goes till midnight. It's packed and they have porta potties, so go to that at your own peril. I don't think they serve food either. So, but I love the Range. It's a great place. I just wouldn't go there for Thanksgiving. Weymouth, you can go to Alumni or the Brew House to meet your high school pals, or former high school pals from 2000 and whatever. What's my favorite Thanksgiving dish? My favorite Thanksgiving dish is stuffing. I'm a big stuffing guy, and apple pie, and pumpkin pie. Those are my 3 favorite things. All right. MVP. MVP goes to all the teams that won for the Lock of the Week. It also goes for all members of the network. We're doing a good job out there. We're getting a lot of views. The network's going well, and I'm happy to be a part of it. I also want to give a shout out to BA for MVP for following the College Lock of the Week and making himself a bundle of money. That was a good move by BA. And he made a lot of money, so, I'll give him a shout out. Dope of the day. Dope of the day is the FedEx Field. The stadium's a complete and utter fucking dump. The Commanders need to invest good, hard-earned money in FedEx Field, because when you don't have hot water, that's a pretty big problem. The Commanders also need to look inside this holiday season to figure out why they couldn't beat the Giants. They were terrible. And finally, Fanatics Sportsbook. I'm sorry, but when you have a weekly rewards week and you're only giving $3 away in bonus cash to the players, that's a goddamn joke. You guys really need to be better than that in order for yourselves to be taken seriously. You take your Dope of the Day award and you enjoy it. Wonks of the Week. Joe Biden, I have no idea how you confuse a 7-year-old thinking she's 17. It's not a good look, Mr. President. You need to be a lot better. It's a shame. It's a damn shame. All right. Final Wonk of the Week is the moron on the commuter who got mad at when I sat down in a 3-seater. Dude, move your fucking backpack and realize the 3-seater can fit 3 people. Your backpack isn't a person, you moron. And the MBTA, it's a Robbie V tip of the day. Don't rely on the MBTA to get you to Thanksgiving dinner. You might not even get there by the time next Thanksgiving rolls around. So you better make a good decision, folks. I don't want to have to be giving fellow Minifans dope of the day. It's just fucking a joke. Anyway, all right. One final note here, folks. You know, I'm gonna be doing my play of the day on Friday. It's 1 and 2. I'm not really proud of that, so we're gonna hopefully get it going again, get in the win column. I'll do a video as always. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the KMN Network and enjoy Mike and the Minifans on Friday night. Quantum Kirk, Mount Rushkirk, the D-Gen Zone. Finally, I got that name right. The Big Dog Show with the D-Gen Zone has Michael Montante. What's his name? The Big Dog Show's got VD, Daver, and the Chain. And there's other shows. Oh yeah, and watch the Steve from Gloucester show. Amen is live, of course. All right, everyone. Well, I want you to have a great Thanksgiving, and you all have a good night. And thank you. This is Robbie V saying, take care of yourself and each other. And I'm signing off. Good day. Oh, yeah.